Staring at the peppers again?
What's that supposed to mean?
You're always staring at the peppers, wondering which ones to use for your stir fry. You're going to be there for ages. But in the end, you'll always pick the red and the orange one.
Weren't you supposed to be in the cellar picking out sherry or something for a recipe?
Oh, carry on staring at your peppers.
Hi everybody, and welcome to another edition of One Chef One Critic. I'm Karl Wells, food critic for the Telegram.
And I'm Chef Steve Watson of Central Dairies.
Well, Steve, you're going to show us, I understand, how to cut up a pepper efficiently and properly.
Absolutely, Karl. Normally at one point in my younger years, I would just randomly cut them, so to speak. So what I would do now, I would just cut the base off like that. So I've got something nice and flat to work with. And then I would just cut around the edges, like so, and then again like so. And then all our wastage is right here in our core, and that can just be discarded, and then again we can work with all our peppers like that.
Okay. And if you're using them for presentation purposes, can you come in, Jane? I want to show some people this. Steve knows this, but I'm just going to show it anyway. You can cut out this membrane like this, and it just makes for better presentation.
Absolutely, Karl.
Well, you want to get those off.
Yeah.
Anyway. That's your pepper info for today. Pepper 911. Peppers 911. That's us. Coming up on the program today, our special guest is Major Lorne Pritchett of the CBS, Conception Bay South Corps of the Salvation Army. He's a guy with a genuine funny bone. I think you're really going to like him. And what are we cooking for the Major today?
Today we're going to be making a beautiful moose pie, Karl.
Oh, moose pie. I haven't had moose pie in years. Oh, this is going to be a real treat. And also on the program, we have Bursey of the Fort Amherst Pub. And speaking of treats, he's going to show us how to make pork perogies. So
wonderful.
Stay tuned. For a complete listing of One Chef One Critic recipes, wine lists, and more, check out our website. Let us know what you think of the show at 757-9600. I was just thinking, we've had the Archbishop of St. John's on this show. We've had a couple of United Church ministers. And now we have a real Salvation Army major on the show. Major Lorne Pritchett.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm
What an
impressed.
introduction. What an introduction.
I'm impressed with myself already. Thank you very much.
Well, it's lovely to have you here. And we have a very special meal to prepare.
Wow.
Absolutely, what we're going to be doing, Major, we're going to be making a beautiful moose pie. So I guess we'll get started. I've already seasoned the beef with a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to put some paprika on there for some colouring. And I will remove the pan from our pot, which we've got nice and hot. I will add some oil to it, like so. And Karl, I've got a very easy job for you today. I'm just going to get you to stir the gravy, so to speak.
Okay.
So, bit of smoke there going nicely. And then I'm going to get you to stir the beef, Major, once we get going. So
Absolutely.
I'm well known for my pot stirring.
I'll just pop the beef in. That'll cool down very quickly, and I'll leave that all to you to stir.
Perfect. I like these routine jobs.
Yes.
I'm a stirrer. We once sold spoons in the church as a fundraiser.
Oh, really?
Caused quite a stir in the corps. Absolutely.
I was going to say about your sense of humor. The first time we met, you were officiating at a wedding.
I was.
Which I attended, and I was sitting there watching you, and you were so funny, so humorous. I thought, this guy is great, and your timing was impeccable. So I wanted to have you on the show.
Well, thank you.
I'm just wondering, do you use humor in your ministering very much?
You know, the truth is that I think humor is a tremendous asset to any minister, people come and they're burdened. They find that they have challenges in life, and they don't want you to be just sour and a prophet of doom all the time. They want you to actually. Thank you. They actually need their spirits lit. They need to be inspired.
Yeah.
And humor, tasteful humor, is a wonderful gift. Yeah.
Now, did you grow up with a good sense of humor? Were you a jolly young kid?
It depends on who you talk to about my sense of humor. I mean, the quality is up for judgment. But yeah, I think I come from a whole family that we love humor. We feel it's a great way to communicate. It's a non-offensive. It puts people at ease.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember you told me that you'll even use humor, at sad occasions.
Yeah, I in a funeral sometimes we will highlight some of the funnier parts of somebody's life, and it just puts people at ease. It just makes them restful, and releases the tension of the moment. So I think humor is a great asset, no matter what you're doing.
Now I know, and this probably especially applies to the Salvation Army, you have to deal with situations where people are very happy, celebratory situations, but you also have to deal with situations where people are in crisis. Do you receive much training, crisis intervention type training in the Salvation Army when you're being trained at the training center?
Yeah, we're exposed to all thank you. We're exposed to all kinds of different scenarios and situations when we're training, and but really, sometimes when somebody walks into your office, you'll say, "How could I train for this?
Yeah.
How could I get ready for this?" I mean, I've had such tragic situations that we've come across, and every minister does, not just the Salvation Army. Every minister does, where you just sit down and say, who's sufficient for these things? It's just the situations that people find themselves in unexpectedly. I was with a lady the other day, and all of a sudden, she found out that she could die in any time soon, and honest surgery was done, and you're trying to figure out what to say at that moment. You know, and 5 minutes afterwards we were having a laugh. We were sitting down.
We came through it.
We came through it, and I think that's important.
Yeah.
So Major, what I've put into the pan there, I've put a little bit of thyme in there. We put out some of our root vegetables, our carrots and our turnip, and some onions as well. I'm just going to add now a little bit of red wine.
Okay.
That will really come
That's
through.
cooking wine.
That's cooking wine.
Yeah, let's be clear on that.
Yeah,
That's just cooking wine, everybody. It's just. I mean, you're doing this just the way I would do it, Steve.
Absolutely.
It's me all over.
So Karl, you can add that gravy to that now as well.
Already?
Yeah, you can add it to it now, actually.
So you were born in Gambo, and you spent the first 9 years of your life in Gambo. Then you moved to the great metropolis of Grand Falls.
Actually,
that must have been...
We were on the other side of the tracks now. We got to be clear.
You were in Windsor?
We were in Windsor, absolutely, literally on
Close
the other
to
side
the
of the
metropolis.
Tracks. Yes.
But still, that must have been quite a change going from Gambo to a mill town.
It
I
was.
can take that, Karl.
It was it was such a culture shock for us. To leave the security of Gambo and to go into a place that was for us.
Yes.
Thriving with people.
Yeah.
And to go into that school system and to try to get to know people in a new church, a new community, it was almost like a new culture for us. And so, yeah, it was quite a challenge.
So it was good growing up in Grand Falls, Windsor?
I think it was an experience that I wouldn't have traded.
Oh, okay.
Because I got a real sense of what it meant to our family, just held together. We protected one another. Yeah. We became a little self-sufficient, and it taught me some sense of independence. And I also got my first job there.
Which was in a hotel?
Which was in a hotel, and we did the sheets, and I got $5 a night. We would go down and put all these sheets through this presser.
Yeah, and you also worked for Brookfield Ice Cream.
Yeah, Brookfield Ice Cream worked for me.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Are you,
We could have.
are you saying you ate the profits, or?
No insult to Central Dairy, Steve. No, but we really got a sense of what to do when we needed ice cream. All you had to do was say, "Whoops, I dropped that. It's broken now. It's broken now."
Yeah.
And tell you what, I don't know. I don't know if Brookfield Ice Cream ever figured this out, but
Well, you know, they went out of business, so.
Anyway, on that note, what we've got here, we've got all our vegetables in there, we've got our gravy and our sauce and our red wine. We're going to cook that for about 4 hours, and if we just stand to the side,
Okay.
I have one already made in the oven. We've made some beautiful pastry there.
This.
And let's bring that out there. Our beautiful mousse pie.
Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my.
Once the sauce was ready, we just added some potatoes and some peas. Then we just capped that with some beautiful homemade pastry, and there we go.
Okay, well, I know you're a teetotaler, but I'm not, so I'm going to head down to the wine cellar and pick out a nice wine to go with that. I'll be back.
do you think he'll come back once he goes to the wine cellar?
Oh, he stays down there for quite some time.
Is that right?
He stays down there for some time. It kind of walks a little funny when he comes back as well, you know.
I'll watch him.
Yeah.
I'll watch him.
You and me both.
Hi, it's great to see you, Tracey Rowe of the Beverage Baron.
Great to see you as well.
Well, Steve, I think, is going back to his British roots today because he's made a big meat pie.
Wow.
Except it doesn't really have a British ingredient because it's got mousse. So it's a very
wow.
Newfoundland meat pie.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, so for this big, bold, heavy pie, I guess we're going to need a fairly bold
Yep, something
wine.
substantial for
Yeah.
sure to stand up to it. Okay, great. Well, I think I brought some great wines. We have from Australia. This is the Wee Angus Cabernet Merlot. Blends are very popular right now, and this one is no different. Cabernet Merlot blends well together based on the Merlot brings softer notes of medium fruit, violets, gorgeous flavors. Cabernet is stronger, is heftier, has stronger tannins, and they blend quite lovely together. The next we have from Argentina is the Malbec. This is the show Malbec. Malbecs are very popular right now. Deep, dark fruit flavor, strong tannins. This is higher alcohol, so it's a really full-bodied wine. Last we have from Italy, it's a Primitivo. This is a little bit softer, medium-bodied wine, softer tannins, but very rich in flavor, dark fruit.
Just go through the prices now for these again.
Absolutely. The Wee Angus is $20.37.
Not bad.
The Show Malbec is $20.77, and the Vogue Primitivo is $17.45.
Okay, so they're all reasonably priced.
Yes, for sure.
You know what? I'm intrigued by this deep, dark, the
Malbec?
show wine.
I think that would actually
And you know,
appear.
they're big meat eaters down there, and
They
we even have a cowboy or gaucho on the cover here.
Yes.
You know, he's probably been herding cattle or something. So I'm gonna try this one.
Great,
and I'll
I
let
think
you
great
know.
choice. Perfect,
Okay?
thank you. Good to
Thank
see you.
Now our pie baked for about 45 minutes in the oven. We topped it with our potatoes before putting it in there and some peas. Then capped it with our beautiful pastry made with 2 cups of flour and a little bit of butter in there and a little bit of seasoning. And we're going to pop the pie cap on the top. And let's go and see now what Karl and Major Pritchett think.
So what we have here, Major, for you is a combination of frozen grapes, sparkling water, and grape juice.
Wow.
And
Nothing but the best.
Well, thank you very much.
The frozen grapes are to keep it nice and cool. So we hope you
lovely.
enjoy that libation.
Thank you very much.
And I know that I'm going to enjoy this because all I've got to do is look at it and know.
Doesn't it look good?
Let's just have a little taste and see
let's
what
do
we
that.
think, and then we'll have another little quick chat.
Melts in your mouth.
That
Yeah.
is so good.
It does melt in the mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Wow.
Well done.
That's excellent.
Another keeper. It was a team effort.
Yeah.
Well, the stirring.
Yeah, the stirring.
It was the stirring.
The stirring did it. And I stirred that gravy very nicely. too.
very
Well,
good.
but it was more the vegetables than the meat. That stirring.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's all down to you.
Yeah.
You did a great job,
Well,
Major.
thank you very much.
Now, I know you couldn't really do as well as you do in life if it weren't for your wife, Barbara, your team, and I guess you've done a lot of traveling together over the years. You've probably been posted in lots of interesting places and communities.
This is our 8th congregation now. We're in Conception Bay South. Love it there. People are so wonderful, Conception Bay South. And we've served throughout in Newfoundland and a number of places in Ontario. But I've had the opportunity of traveling wider than that through the years. And we're headed towards almost the 40th year of ministry. Love it.
Yeah.
Love
Now,
ministry.
of all the places that you visited, do you ever think, I would like to go back to that particular community to maybe retire one day?
Retirement for me is going to be Newfoundland. I love Newfoundland.
It's a very special place, isn't it?
I mean, it suits
Any
my
particular
personality.
part of Newfoundland?
I love it all. I've had the privilege when I was with the Canadian Bible Society of traveling into almost every nook and cranny of Newfoundland, and it is just an amazing province. And I love the people. I just love it here.
I know that these days a lot of churches have to face declining membership. How's the Salvation Army doing?
Corporately, we're facing the same challenges that other churches face. I must say, in CBS and particularly in the St. John's area itself, Salvation Army is doing very well, and we're maintaining. So we're so grateful for that.
Is there much cooperation amongst the various denominations in terms of achieving social goals for our communities?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there is the St. John's and Area Council of Churches, in which all the denominations cooperate on. Out in CBS, the CBS and Paradise Food Bank is owned by all of the churches coming together and recognizing that there was a need. And I have very close relationships with the ministers in Conception Bay South. And yeah, I mean, we've kind of grown past that area. What we've settled on now is we can have differences, we can have times of disagreements theologically, but we realize that we can agree on the larger parts of what we need to do for our communities.
Well said, and that's a nice note to end on. And I want to thank you for being with us today on One Chef, One Critic, and all the
Cheers.
best to you and Barbara in the future.
Thank you very much.
When we come back, we'll be with Chef Evan Bursey, who's going to show us how to make pork pierogies.
Wow.
Our next guest comes from a family that's been in the food service business for generations, really. And even at his tender age, he's wearing the battle scars of having worked in several restaurants around town. And now he's venturing out into the world of chef proprietor with his own restaurant. It's called the Fort Amherst Pub on Water Street, St. John's. We're very happy to welcome Chef Evan Bursey. Welcome, Evan.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Evan, it's great to have that venture there on Water Street, that's for sure. But what are we going to be making today? I see you've got some of my favourite ingredients, red cabbage and pierogies.
Yeah, so today we're going to be doing a pulled pork pierogi.
Oh, pulled pork, okay.
So it's a handmade dough, and they're stuffed with potato and pulled pork, and it's
Okay.
going to be finished with some red cabbage, a cheddar sauce, some barbecue sauce, and bacon. Who doesn't love bacon?
Oh, absolutely. So let's get ahead then.
Absolutely, let's do it.
Yeah. So you've got these pierogies already made, I see.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. I
yeah.
made those this morning.
Yep. Get some heat on there.
Pierogies are Eastern European.
Absolutely.
Ukraine, Slovakia, Poland, I guess.
Well, I spent some time in Toronto working with an individual who is from Poland. And he.
So you learned from the master.
I hope so. We'll see if he liked them, then I did well.
But I noticed see, this is interesting too, because a lot of people think pierogies can only be semicircular, but they can be triangular, like
absolutely.
yours, or they can be rectangular.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Yep. And there's a number of various presses and things like that that you can get and stuff like that, but I make mine by hand, so I just fold them over and press them down as nicely as I can. I think it looks nice where they're kind of rustic.
Absolutely, yeah. You've only got 3 there. I don't know if that's going to be enough for us.
Oh, I think we'll be all right.
And you're using shallots as opposed to onions.
Yes, absolutely. I just really like shallots. They're very presentable. You can keep them round and things like that. And it's a really
different
nice
flavor.
mild flavor.
Yeah.
So the pork obviously was cooked beforehand, and
It's a slow cooked pork loin. And it's cooked in a barbecue sauce. And then what I did was I rendered down the barbecue sauce and saved a little bit of it, so that'll be a little bit extra flavor around the plate.
Now, would these pierogies be on your menu at the restaurant?
Absolutely. It's a slightly different rendition than what we're looking at here.
Do you mind if I turn?
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead. But it's it's very, very, very similar. I'm not so certain that the pulled pork will be in there. I'm thinking that it's going to be bacon. It holds up nicer, and people are more.
And everybody loves bacon.
Who doesn't love bacon?
And
right?
it's the same animal.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's one thing like I really try to use is Point Leamington pork locally. So we try to get that as often as possible, and one of the things is you know what I mean, you always have lots of pulled pork. You know what I mean? You're going to get a lot of meat for sausages, you're going to get a lot of meat for pulled pork. And you know, you got to use it somewhere, right?
Yeah, and local seems to be the way to go these days. Everybody wants to use local ingredients.
Yeah.
Be it vegetables or farm produce like pig and duck.
Absolutely.
Or all sorts of
You can even get some
farming.
beef sometimes from Oliver Farms.
Sure.
Yeah. Just outside Placentia.
Yeah.
Now, because of time, could we dress the plate now then?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so you've heated some red cabbage there.
I have, yep. So we've got red cabbage here that's been preheated. I've got a cheddar sauce here. This is made with applewood smoked cheddar and 2-year-old sharp white cheddar.
Okay.
So we'll just...
Very good, so you just do a swish across the plate.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah.
So then we'll finish it with a little bit of cabbage here in the middle.
Okay.
The cabbage has been braised in an IPA.
Okay.
So you should be able to pick up some hop flavor and things like
Perfect.
IPA stands for
that. India Pale
India
Ale.
Pale Ale. Yeah.
So originally, pale ales didn't quite have as much hops as they do these days. So what's happening now is people are kind of getting back to a traditional flavor whereby they used to have to hop to get you extra preservatives.
Okay.
So that used to last the long voyage to India, and that's where the name India Pale Ale comes from.
Interesting.
So you've got your shallots here, and your bacon.
That looks beautiful.
Now again, because of time, I think Karl's just going to try one.
Yes,
and then away we go.
Yeah, okay.
Very good. It looks beautiful. I like the idea of the cheese sauce there, that's for sure, with the 2-year-old cheddar
Be careful
into it.
not to burn my...
Yeah, it's going to be hot.
Yeah, it's going to be hot.
Delicious.
I'm glad you
Perfect.
enjoyed it.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Evan Bursey.
Absolutely.
And that's it for this edition of
One chef?
One Critic.
Which ones to use for your stir fry? No, good.
Your stairmaster. Your stir fry.
You're going to be there all ages. You're going to be there for all ages. All ages.
You're going to be there for ages. Okay, so this is the bit where I say, well... Oh, this is the welcome part. Oh, that's right. Okay, sorry. Just slightly, come on. Just slightly confused. That's okay.
This Thursday morning.